Day 2 and today's unrivalled big event is the speech by the Chancellor of the Exchequer, George Osborne.
Today, all around our country, indeed all around the world, people are anxious. The British people will overcome this challenge as we have overcome so many before. Together, we will ride out the storm. We're now going to make it much less risky for businesses to hire people. We will double to 2 years the amount of time you can employ someone before the risk of an unfair dismissal claim.
That's the way back to growth. Clobber the workers.
I don't pretend to you that these are not difficult days and that there are not difficult days ahead. But together we will ride out the storm and together we will move into the calmer, brighter seas beyond. Thank you.
Ending with a sort of Churchillian flourish. There's a lot of comparisons here between the state of the economy and a sort of wartime predicament, but the idea if we all pull together we'll get through. The thing is, listening to that, for all that there were little policy moves here and there, the government is telling us that it's set on the course that was mapped immediately after the election and it's not going to shift. And the problem is, out there, the economy's still flatlining. So you start to wonder how that message of really largely unchanged economic policy is going to play with people having a very, very hard time.
Statesman-like. That's the first time that I would describe George Osborne as statesman-like, and that's why he won me over. Because often on television, because I've never seen him before in the flesh, he's been criticised as not coming across as perhaps the best guy. But there, if everyone could see him in this hall, like we've seen him today, I feel more people would describe him as that.
I think his message that we cannot borrow our way out of this problem, you know, that is the problem, it is not the solution. That was a very strong message, I think, and I think people can understand that.
He made some very good points and gave us hope for the future.
How do you sell it on the doorstep? Because the message is really, it's going to be grim for a fair while.
Yes, it is, but then I do think that most of the general public understand that the situation we were in and the situation that was left by the previous government was actually worse than we were actually told.
You think they'll accept the hardship for the time being?
Yes, I think they can accept the hardship knowing that the future is better.
Perhaps a somewhat rose-tinted, even patronising view of the British public we heard there from the Tories inside. There's only one way to find out the truth. Get out. Look at that. Tory blue. We're on our way to the constituency of Bury North, a recent Tory acquisition, the only seat they gained in Greater Manchester at the last election. It's a bellwether seat. The way that Bury North goes tends to be the way the election goes. And if George Osborne's message is going to get through, it has to resonate in places like this. I don't pretend to you that these are not difficult days and that there are not difficult days ahead, but together we will ride out the storm and move into the calmer, brighter seas beyond.
Sounds like something from the past to me, that. Sex, good words, but...
Do anything for your confidence levels?
No, it's a nice phrase, isn't it? But that's about all.
He said, I come to you with words of resolve, determination, confidence and belief. Belief that the British people will overcome this challenge as we have overcome so many before. Okay. Together, we will ride out the storm.
Yes. Got to. What else are you going to do?
His words are probably very good. The meaning of them probably very little.
Yeah.
And probably his ability to do something about it is equally probably as little.
Looking ahead to the world in which they're going to grow up, you know, 5-10 years' time, particularly in terms of the state of the economy, what sort of country do you think we're going to be living in?
One that doesn't look after working classes.
No jobs for our children at all.
No.
We're not going to be able to afford to go to university, you know, the way things are going on, so...
This is Ramsbottom, the birthplace of that great Conservative icon Sir Robert Peel, and a place full of independent small businesses. It's a great place to get a sense of the economic mess we're in and how we might start to get out.
And where people at one time, you know, have had a bad day, I'll go and treat myself, it's payday, I'll go and treat myself, instead it's payday, I'll pay the gas bill. You know, they just haven't got the money that they used to have at one time.
Is there anything politicians could do to make your life, right now, to make your life as a business person easier?
Oh, there's absolutely all sorts. I mean, if you're literally just thinking about businesses, VAT cut, higher the threshold so that, say, your turnover's got to be 100,000, 120,000, is not very much in turnover these days. Raise that rate, lower the VAT back to 15%.
This government put up VAT.
Yeah.
What did it do?
When we saw the VAT rate drop down to 15%, I think people, even though realistically it wasn't a massive amount of money, people just felt that they had a little bit of extra cash in their pocket. They felt a little bit happier spending the money. It then rises up to 17.5, jumps up to 20, and all of a sudden people are just a bit more worried again, not wanting to spend the money, and they feel everything is more expensive, even though it's only gone up £1 here, £1 there. Overall, it makes a massive difference, and I think it's making everybody more cautious.
There's me.
Okay.
After me comes Heston.
Right.
And then Rowling.
Right.
And then Marcus.
Yeah.
And then Raymond.
Wow. When things were better 5 or 10 years ago, how many people did you have on the payroll?
Oh, we were...
Including part-time, you know?
Yeah, we were 24, 25 on
now?
the payroll. 12.
Wow. Mr. Osborne today proposed something. Let me find this bit of his speech. Let me
I've
read
been
you
out
this.
since 7 o'clock this morning,
Have you not
so I haven't heard.
Well,
no,
here we go.
Let's
Let's give this a go. Encourage investment. Right. As part of my determination to get the economy moving, I have set the Treasury to work on ways to inject money directly into parts of the economy that need it, such as small businesses. It's known as credit easing. It's another form of monetary activism. It's similar to the National Loan Guarantee Scheme we talked about in opposition. It could help prevent another credit crunch.
Stop. When he put VAT from 15 to 17.5 to 20, my customers had less and less money. To pay 20% VAT on everything that comes through my front door is putting my business at risk.
As things stand, if you've worked for an employer for at least a year, you can take them to a tribunal for unfair dismissal.
Yes.
Osborne says he's going to double it and make accessing it more difficult.
But I'm an honest employer. I want to look after my staff. I'm not going to unfairly dismiss somebody.
And tell me your sense of where we're going, how things are going to be in 2, 3, 4 years' time.
I'm going to bump along on the bottom. I'm going to have to work bloody hard myself to keep it going. And I'm going to have to persuade my staff to take a less reward than they really deserve.
Everybody's just worried. Even if they've got a job, they don't know how stable it is. Nobody wants to spend, and he needs to give that confidence back. That's what his job is now, to put the confidence back and get the economy moving.
Brighter, calmer seas ahead, whatever he says.
Well, yeah, maybe in about 2 or 3 years when we can vote for someone else, but not at the moment.
You'd like a change of government, would you?
Yes.
Right, back to the bubble.
The Chancellor, George Osborne, has told the Conservative Party conference that the government is considering new measures to help businesses. So-called credit easing would allow the Bank of England to buy company bonds in an attempt to provide firms with affordable loans. The Cabinet Office Minister, Francis Maude, is backing that idea, and another announcement, the extension to 2 years of employment before a worker can seek to claim unfair dismissal.
This is our last film of conference season. I've been coming to these things for a fair while now, and though it's a cliche to talk about the gap between here and the reality outside, it feels to me like it's never been bigger or more characterised by a deep public scepticism. This feels like the end of an era that began in the early 1980s. It's a time not just of a flatlining economy and rampant pessimism, but a sense that politics really isn't speaking to people. And even if it tried to do so, it would have to come up with something spectacular to actually cut through. In other words, there's a vacuum here, which something shamelessly populist and nasty could conceivably come along to fill, unless someone from orthodox politics starts to think about how to do things differently. Meanwhile, as the increasingly irrelevant conference ritual grinds on, we're getting ready to finally go home. Thanks for watching.